Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about eating disorders, and I'm going to inform you on eating disorders and tell you about my experience with them and how you can get over them and all that kind of good stuff. So let's get started. Okay, so thousands of teens develop eating disorders or have problems with their weight, and so they feel so insecure about themselves that they restrict themselves of food, or if they have food, it'll be a very small portion, and then they'll purge it or take laxatives or exercise excessively and go through the extreme measures to get rid of that food, like that calories. And they have a complete phobia of gaining weight and consuming calories. And yeah, so there are two main types of eating disorders. The first one is anorexia, and the second one is bulimia. And anorexia nervosa, or anorexia, bulimia nervosa, or bulimia. But most people just call them Anna and Mia. But so basically, I'm gonna go and tell you guys the I don't know, how to explain it, the symptoms of it or whatever. Okay, so people with anorexia have a real fear of weight gain, and they have a distorted view of their body size and shape, and as a result, they can't maintain a normal body weight. So they restrict themselves to food, diet, fast, and exercise excessively. So they hardly eat at all, and the small amount of food they do eat becomes an obsession, and it's very horrible. And there's really bad side effects of being anorexic. To have an eating disorder, period, there are really bad consequences and side effects. You don't have any energy, your stomach will hurt, you get really bad headaches, and if you do it for long enough and you're a female, your period stops, and that is really bad. And then later on in life, if you continue to have it for a long time, it will be very hard for you to have children, to get pregnant, because your period stopped, and that has to get back on track and everything. And it's not worth it at all. You're all beautiful no matter what size you are. Just because you're not a size 0 does not mean you're fat. Society is just really messed up, and you just gotta love yourself for who you are. And I know it's really hard, but you just have to. It's one of those things that you have to do. For some people, math is really hard. To me, it's easy. But, in order for you to graduate, you got to do math. And, yeah, and it's like learning another language, you don't speak that language, but in order to graduate high school, you have to take it. And, yeah, well, at least that's for here. But that was just an example. But anyways, back on track. The next one is bulimia. Bulimia is similar to anorexia, but they are not the same thing. And you can have both of them, but not at the same time, because they're different. So you can't have them both at the same time. I was bulimic and I was anorexic, but you just can't have them at the same time. It just doesn't work like that. And so basically, bulimia, you tend to binge a lot, and then you purge. So, and in case you guys don't know what binging and purging is when you eat a lot. You just go and you just eat all the food and everything. And purging is when you force yourself to throw up. Okay, and anorexia, you purge and you exercise excessively, and you take laxatives or something like that. And not saying that all people do that, but that's like some of the things that people with this disorder do. And like it can really lead to compulsive disorders, behaviors, not disorders, like compulsive behaviors, such as like wanting to exercise all the time. And to be diagnosed with bulimia, you must be purging regularly, like at least twice a week for a couple of months. And now, binging is not going to like going somewhere and eating a lot, or special occasion and eating a lot and then like working out after it to like balance it out and then eating healthy afterwards. No, that's not binging. Binging is just eating out of control. Like you can't stop. And I struggle with this a lot because I just want to eat everything in the house. And my parents get really mad at me. And yeah, and tell me how fat I am. And it's really hard to have an eating disorder and having people constantly telling you about your weight. It's like tormenting me. Like, my parents are always constantly telling me about my weight, like every day. There's not a day that they don't say something about my weight, my stomach, or something. And it's really hard for me. Sometimes I just want to tell them, like, yeah. And my parents don't really know the extremes of how bad my eating disorder got. Like, because, I don't know. Some days I'd only have like a granola bar. What I would do is I would get a granola bar that was like 140 calories and or less, and then I would cut it in 3 parts. Then I would drink water before, and then a glass of water before, and then I would eat the granola bar, then drink a glass of water afterwards, and that would be my breakfast. And I would repeat that for lunch and dinner, and that was really bad. Don't restrict yourself with food. It's not worth it, trust me. And yeah. So basically, this is like a video that's all over the place because it's going to be telling you about my experiences and also informing you guys on stuff. And yeah, so there is and it's not just girls. A lot of people say, oh my god, girls are so like concerned about their weight and everything, but it's not just girls. Actually, more guys are seeking help for eating disorders than girls. And it's really sad. So just know that you're all perfect the way you are. And if you want to lose weight, do it the healthy way. Like maybe going for a walk or exercising. Like you don't have to necessarily run or go to the gym. Just do like the simple things and it'll melt off. Trust me. I lost like, well, no, I'm not going to mention that. I lost weight. I lost like 20 pounds, but I gained it back. That's why you don't want to have an eating disorder, because whatever you lose, like once you start eating again, you'll gain it back. And so I gained back more weight than I actually lost. I lost around 20 pounds, but then I gained 30, and so now I'm bigger than what I was before. So that's another reason why you don't want to have an eating disorder. And yeah, so guys and girls, you're both perfect the way you are. You're beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you different. Like, don't even listen to yourself. Like, you're looking in the mirror, like your image is distorted because of your mind. You can't let your thoughts get the best of you. Okay? I'm here to tell you that you are beautiful and perfect the way you are. You were created perfect. And I know it's really, really hard sometimes to believe that. Like, sometimes I wake up, well, most of the time I wake up, like, I hardly ever feel beautiful. But that's going to change. and it will change for you too. And yeah, so that's all I gotta say for right now. Okay, so the intentions of someone with an eating disorder, it probably may not start off as you wanting to have an eating disorder. It might just happen accidentally. Like, you just want to, like, lose a couple pounds, but then you start getting addicted to it, and then it becomes a problem. And you just want to keep decreasing your calorie intake. So say this is your calorie intake, and so you decrease it a little bit and you start losing weight and you really like the results of that. So then you want to take it from here down to here and here and here. And then when your calorie intake is so low, like you don't have energy to do anything, and you start like passing out and everything, and just having horrible headaches and stomach aches, and it gets really bad. So yeah. And another thing I want to talk about is a binge disorder. Like, this is not like anorexia or bulimia, it's like just binging. That is also bad for you. And all three of them can be very unhealthy. And like, so people with a binge disorder, they don't purge, they just binge, and like more than like 3 times a week. So almost every day basically. And it's really bad to undereat and to overeat, so you just need to eat normal. Like normal amounts. Okay. So some symptoms of anorexia would be being very thin, frail, or emaciated, and you become obsessed with eating food and weight control, and you weigh yourself repeatedly, like more than once a day, and like you drink a lot of water when you go to the doctor because you don't want them to be worried about your weight or whatever, and that's not going to help you gain anything. And you count your portions, count food, and make small portions and everything, and you avoid eating certain foods like dairy, meat, and wheat and stuff, and the bad fats or bad carbs and everything. And you exercise excessively, you feel fat all the time, and you withdraw yourself from social activities, especially ones involving meals and celebrations involving food, and you become very depressed and very lethargic, and so you lack energy and you feel cold, like really cold a lot. And the reason why you feel cold is because there's not enough fat on your body to keep you warm, and so you feel cold. And yeah. And someone with bulimia might fear weight gain, be intensely unhappy with body size, shape, or weight, make excuses to go to the bathroom immediately after meals, to purge, only eat diet or low-fat foods except during binges, buy laxatives, diuretics, and stuff like that, and spend most of their time working out, trying to like burn off those calories. And they also withdraw from social activities, especially meals and celebrations involving food. There's no definite reason as to why people have eating disorders, but social media plays a big, humongous role in it. Like, we're overloaded by images of thin celebrities and people who weigh far less than what we do, and So there's like all these models and they're like super thin, they all have thigh gaps and everything, and we just want to be that, and so we just restrict ourselves with foods and go through all those extremes. But you guys don't need to do that. And another thing, teens are more likely to have eating disorders. Actually, I can't talk. Statistics say that you're more likely to get an eating disorder between the ages of 13 to 17. So, yeah. And if you have one, you can always contact me or like go on my Instagram. I'll leave it down below. And my Kik is in the bio of my Instagram. Okay. There are, eating disorders can cause serious medical illnesses. And I will get into that and stuff. And it can cause stress, anxiety, depression, and substance use. And actually, a lot of people do drugs to lose weight, because when you do drugs such as like cocaine or like crack, which is like the same thing, or heroin, you tend to not eat, but drugs like marijuana make you eat, so people with eating disorders avoid marijuana. Okay, drugs are not good for you, and so you shouldn't do them, and especially not to lose weight, because it's not. You're compromising a whole lot. But anyways, so the medical illnesses that you can have is a drop in blood pressure, your heart not beating as fast as it's supposed to, breathing slower, hair loss and fingernail breakage, loss of periods if you're a girl, and there's like this thing like to where your hair can grow all over your skin, and I'm sorry, my parents are talking, and it's like this light hair that grows all over your skin, so you get really hairy, and that's not good. And you can get feel lightheaded, and have an inability to concentrate, and my dog just opened my door. Okay. Anemia, which is really bad, and if you do have anemia, you should take iron to help with that. And your joints can get swollen, and your bones become really brittle, and so like if you fall, you're gonna break something. So don't have an eating disorder. And oh my god, the constant stomach pain. And you can really damage your stomach and kidneys really bad, and you can get tooth decay from like purging, because the acid from your stomach, and it just erodes the enamel in your teeth and everything. And chipmunk cheeks. Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah, I already mentioned, like, the loss of period, which is really bad. And you can, you can lose potassium, and that is, like, horrible, because that can contribute to problems with your heart and even death. And so now that you're hearing all this, is that eating disorder really worth it? Is it really that glamorous? Really? Not to forget the emotional pain that comes with having an eating disorder. It really messes you up in the mind, because you're always constantly worrying about what you're eating, what your weight is, what you're not eating, and it's just not healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally. So it's just not worth it at all. Please take my advice and seriously seek some help. go to rehab for eating disorders and just stop looking at Thinspo. Like, it's not healthy at all. Most of it's photoshopped anyways, and just don't make yourself your own, let's call it Fitspo, fitness inspiration. Okay, so have fitness inspiration, but make it yourself. So your own self is going to be your fitness inspiration. You're not going to be looking at other people, because that will turn into thinspo, and we do not want that. So, the longer you have an eating disorder, the harder it will be to break it. And so, you want to get help as soon as possible. And I'm not a professional or anything, but you can come talk to me about it, and I will do the best of my ability to help you. Like, as I said, I used to have one, and I got through it by myself, and I will tell you about that, and I'll make another video about this, like how to get over it and more on treatment. Like, not treatment because I can't treat you, but I can tell you what I did to get over it. So remember that I love you all, and you can always contact me. I'm going to leave my Instagram down below. My Instagram is stay_strong_forever_143. I'm going to leave that down below in the description box, and my Kik will be in the bio of my Instagram. So contact me if you have any questions, even if you don't know me, like most of you don't know me. But I am here to help you all, and I love you all, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.